Today, we're checking out Landania, giving you an honest look at the gameplay, community, and features. Let's see if it's worth your time. We'll be reviewing Landania across 5 key areas: gameplay quality, community and moderation, performance, visual design, and replayability. These metrics will help us break down the experience and see how the server stacks up overall. So let's dive in. So what is Landania? It's an international server for both English and German speakers, where each player can get their own realm to build in, whether playing solo or with their friends. Trading between players is a big part of the experience. You can come up with your own trade strategies, earn coins, and even take on or offer jobs to other players. Landania is available on both Java and Bedrock Edition, though the Bedrock Edition is still an alpha, so things might look a little bit different there. This review focuses specifically on the Java Edition, so things might look a little bit different if you're playing on Bedrock. If you do find this review helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more Minecraft server reviews. One of the first things that piqued my interest about Landania was actually the tutorial. This is the recommended way to actually start a server, and it really doesn't disappoint. A lot of servers just kind of expect you to know what you're doing, and this is where Landania stands out. It's a really unique idea, and therefore the server as itself needs to be explained to a new player. The tutorial kind of felt like a small quest and an introduction to like all of the server's features, and yes, I do know that is exactly what it is meant to do as a tutorial, but it just didn't actually feel like a tutorial, and that's why I liked it. After doing the tutorial, you get taken to your own small realm, and these realms basically act as your own private world that you can enjoy either alone or you can share it with your friends. What's interesting about the realms is you can only explore a small amount at a time. You can expand your realm by increasing your level and paying for the expansion with coins. How do you level up, you may ask? Well, to increase your level, you need to actually collect character points. You can get these by creating the realm at the start, which will automatically get you to level 1, eating TP fruits, which are provided to you at the start of the game and when completing the tutorial, selling items in the admin stores, killing mobs and animals, and just kind of running around. You can also get character points by opening chests and crates. You can sell things at the admin stores to get coins, you can also use the auction, and you can contribute to jobs that are made by either the server or by other players. Yes, this does mean that you can also create jobs for other people to contribute towards, so you can get items in exchange for you giving players coins. So let's say you have enough coins and you're a high enough level and you can expand your realm. Does this mean that you can expand wherever you want? No. Each section of the realm is at a different price point and it's tiered progression. So you start in section 1, and the next section you should unlock is section 2. You don't actually need to unlock section 2. You could wait till your level and your coins are at the right point to just get section 3, but it's recommended to get section 2. As you can kind of see on the screen, you'll see where all the sections are, and there are a lot of bigger expansions later on the higher up the levels. I couldn't actually get far enough to check out the more distant ones, but it gets much more pricey, and you need a much higher level to actually unlock these in the future. I think one thing to kind of note about this is if you are playing with friends, it actually takes the coins from the main owner of the island, and it takes the level from that owner. So if you are going to play with friends, make sure that the most active person is the one that owns the realm. Otherwise, it will take so much longer to actually expand. So does this progression limit how many resources you can get? It actually doesn't. So you can use these things called TP fruits that I mentioned earlier, and this is how you access resource worlds. Each fruit has a set amount of time assigned to it. You start off with some 15-minute timers, and then you get some that are 30-minute timers after you've completed the tutorial. So you can't actually stay in the resource world forever. However, when you have 2 minutes left, you can actually eat another one to just extend your stay. So don't worry if you're about to mine something, you're like, oh my god, I'm running out of time. You're perfectly fine. You'll automatically get taken back, or you can just take a few fruits with you. On the screen, you can see that there are different resource fruits. Now, each fruit will send you to a different resource world, where certain materials are more common, such as the biomes or ores. So the starting world, for example, you actually have a 50% lower chance of finding things like diamonds. But it's a more tropical island, so you'll find jungle trees more. The fruits are obtained via the tutorial world, or by actually just mining ores in these worlds. There's a small chance that you can get them, and this actually is affected by if you have fortune. You can also find them for sale in the auction, and you can also just basically buy them in the admin shops. There's also factories that can be obtained, but sadly I was nowhere near a high enough level to actually get these, so I didn't really get a chance to review them. So that's kind of a brief overview of the gameplay. Personally, I really like the idea of the server, and I think it's a really fun gameplay experience, but I do actually have some concerns. Before I proceed, I do want to stress that I understand that a server needs to make money to keep the server running, but in some ways, it's not done the right way for me. The server overall does have a crystal system, which you can purchase these on the store, and these are used in server to actually get ranks or cases. I had a look at the cases and ranks, and these actually do seem quite balanced. It's not a massive amount of concern that I have for these. Overall, I do think you get a good value for money on this. The one thing that I do slightly disagree with is you can actually have the ability to upgrade your realm. Now, your realm can be upgraded to a premium realm, and there's 2 tiers. You can either get the Pro or the Ultra tier. Now, this isn't a permanent upgrade you get. You have to pay for this monthly or yearly. And I will say you do get a discount if you buy it yearly, but for the amount that you're actually paying for, I don't really think it's worth it. The prices are defaulted to euros, as you can kind of see on the screen, but I've translated them to dollars for, well, for everyone that's actually watching this. So if you wanted to get the Pro rank, well, the Pro upgrade for your realm, it would actually cost you $27 a month. And if you wanted to get the Ultra, it would cost you $54 per month, which I really do think is excessive considering what you actually get. As you can kind of see, this kind of pushes more towards the redstone side of people, and I don't really see a massive benefit. I do think that it's a good idea to have these island upgrades purchasable, but I feel like they're missing a tier here. I think $27 a month is excessive, or €25, and I think maybe having a tier that's around €12.50 around that would be a nice addition for people that, for example, just want to upgrade their mob limits and can't afford $27 a month. Now, this isn't essential, but I do think that at the moment, with the current fee, probably missing out on quite a good little niche and consistent income every single month if they did just put that 1 tier there. I know that I would consider it if it was at that price, but because of it being €25, I won't even consider it. It's over the top for me. Overall, I do really like the idea and the gameplay, but the server having the realm upgrades at the price that they currently are and kind of alienating that middle or lower tier of an upgrade kind of makes me feel like you could hit a cap in your progression and then kind of get you to a point where you're forced to pay to continue progressing. Even if this is miles down the road, it does slightly give me a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So overall, for gameplay quality, I'm going to give the server an 8 out of 10. Overall, the community does seem really friendly. It's quite obvious to me that the server mainly has a German player base, considering the Discord didn't actually seem too active on the English-speaking front. A nice feature that you can have when you join the server, though, is that you can change your language to be English. I think it defaults to German. When actually doing this, when you then join the server, you are default put into the English-speaking lobby. When I was playing, I was actually the only person in this lobby, so I didn't really get a chance to really speak to too many people in the community while I was playing. If you're looking for a server that you and your friends could join that has an active and established economy, but not too many players flooding the chat, as I know that that can be quite annoying, then this could actually be the sort of server for you. I will say that I was on the German lobby before recording the footage for the review, and there were actually some people speaking English in there, so maybe it's a case of everyone just stays on there and that you have an integrated chat between 2 languages. That's not really something I would want, so I just stayed in the English lobby, as it just kind of made recording a little bit easier. Overall, I would say that the community shows a lot of promise. And my experience with the staff team was actually really good. I went through the chats on the Discord, and all of the staff team seemed really friendly and really helpful. I'm going to give the community and moderation section a 9 out of 10. This would be a 10 out of 10 if I had a little bit more contact with the players, but I don't feel that I can give it a 10 out of 10 without actually having more context of speaking to people on the server. It wouldn't sit right with me if I did that. Overall, the server performed very well. I didn't experience any lag or high ping. I will say I am based in the UK, so if the servers are based in Europe, then this may vary for people over in the US or around the world. Even when playing on a more open world section, I didn't actually experience any TPS issues or any form of bad ping, which on a server of this size is actually quite impressive. The server also didn't have a small view distance, which to me actually shows that the staff team clearly know what they're doing, because a lot of servers would just sacrifice the view distance in exchange for better server performance. So the fact that they didn't actually speaks volumes about the quality of the moderation team and the development team for the server to me. The staff team also communicate consistently and in a timely manner when there's expected downtime to occur. This is done in the Discord, and it's a really nice touch because there's nothing more frustrating than going to log on and not being told that there is a little bit of downtime. It doesn't seem like this happens too often, so that's also a good thing, but just bear that in mind that if you are going to look at consistently playing here, joining the Discord is probably where they're going to put those updates most of the time. I'm going to rate the server performance at a 10 out of 10. Overall, I didn't see any issues. Looking back at the graph as well for uptime, the server is consistently up and doesn't seem to have any long waits on downtime. There might be slight downtime during updates, but that is to be expected. But yeah, 10 out of 10. The visual design of the server is superb. Overall, the world design is flawless and basically near perfect. The lobby is designed to spread players out and doesn't feel too clustered, but it also doesn't feel so large that it's overwhelming and you don't know where anything is. The builds are absolutely beautiful and the resource pack is amazing. I really cannot stress that enough. The furniture and the custom models around the world are just phenomenal, and as you guys can tell, I'm a sucker for this sort of stuff. The fact that they also use these custom models to make the builds feel more alive is just incredible. I'm also assuming that there's a few Doctor Who fans on the development team, because the phone boxes being used to teleport around the lobby just really made my inner nerd scream. I'm a massive Doctor Who fan. It took the server from a solid server to like next level. I may be slightly biased, but who doesn't like a TARDIS? Let's be honest. Overall, the server design is absolutely beautiful and extremely unique. I haven't seen these builds anywhere before. It's very obvious that they haven't just gone on a build site and just bought the build, and that always increases my score. I'm going to give the server a 10 out of 10 on this as well. Yes, I may be slightly biased because I love a TARDIS, but please don't judge me. I'm allowed. It's my opinion, guys. Come on, allow it. Overall, the server's replayability seems pretty much endless, and everything is locked off behind some form of tiered progression, which is really nice as it does stop someone from just joining and being able to be the richest person on the server within a week. There's nothing worse than that, trust me. I absolutely hate it. The addition of the player-made jobs also make it feel like there could be more diverse content, but I can also see this possibly getting old after a period of time because, well, there's only so much you can do the same thing over and over again. Personally, I think that the server might end up feeling like a little bit too much of a grind. That's just my opinion, but I can just see that becoming a constant thing. If you are interested in that sort of thing, and you are the person that would drop hundreds of hours into a server if you liked it, then this definitely is the server for you. I think the progression might be a little bit harsh considering what is required to actually level up. The admin shops, though, do seem quite balanced. I didn't figure out exactly how much character points you actually get to upgrade from these sales in the admin shops, but they do seem quite balanced in that regard. But also, I feel like once you get past level 10, the progression is going to be much slower, and that's something I wanted to keep in mind on the replayability front. In my opinion, I think adding more quests, like what was done in the tutorial, would be a massive upgrade. It's kind of what hooked me, and I feel like I've slightly been cheated out of the fact that that isn't what the server's like. It felt so smooth and fluid that when I then got into playing the server overall, I didn't have that to kind of go back to and do. It's just kind of, I need this, let me go get it, bring it, get paid. And there's nothing wrong with something like that, but having the interactive stories from the characters where you're grabbing and learning information, having little things like that wouldn't be a downside, and I think that that could be really interesting. In terms of new content, I did have a look through the patch notes, and I noticed that there hasn't really been too much added in the last 2 months. They do have another server called City Build, which seems to be getting a lot more development attention at the moment. I'm assuming this is because this is a more new feature. I wasn't going to review that for the sake of this video, as I feel like reviewing both would be a little bit overwhelming and would make this video way too long. Overall, I'd rate the replayability at a 6 out of 10. I do understand that this is quite harsh, but I personally am not the sort of player that likes to grind over and over again, and that feels like where most of the server's replayability would actually come from. Overall, Landania is a really good server, and I definitely think it's worth giving a try. I do believe that it would be a server best suited to playing with your friends, so you can progress together and actually enjoy the experience. To me, one of the things that makes the server so good is the visuals. It's such a beautiful world that they've created, and even if this isn't a server that you could see yourself playing long term, it's a server that you have to experience at least once, just because of how beautiful the server is and the amount of content that's within it. If we add together all of the scores across the 5 key areas, we get an overall score of 8.6, which I actually think is quite a fair rating for the server. It's also extremely active, so if you are looking to just kill some time and experience a well-balanced server with a welcoming community, I definitely check Landania out. Anyway, that was Landania. If you guys have any servers that you recommend or that you would like me to review, please let me know down below. If you guys are interested in Landania, the server info will be down in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.